there will always be there will always be the good side and the bad side. And Allah did not create this world such that everything will be good from day one till the end. And He didn't create it such that everything will be bad from day one till the end. Allah said in the Quran, وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَوِّلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. So Allah has already said that there will be good days, there will be bad days. But someone with a positive mindset is someone that is usually expecting positive results about something. So it's not that you always be happy about everything. No, it's not that you always be bubbly and your spirit will always be high, and even when bad things are happening, you are smiling and laughing. No, that is not what positive mindset is. But positive mindset is such that in all situations, whether the good ones and the not so good ones, you're someone that is searching for the silver lining, and then you make the best out of any situation that you find yourself in. Now, as Muslims, how do we develop a positive mindset? How do we have that kind of mindset that whatever comes, we are able to take it in a positive light? What are the things that we should do to help us to be in this state? Someone that is not not that bad situations will not get to you, but it will not devastate you, it will not make you fall. It will just come as one of those things. The first thing is the first tip that I have here is having tawakkul. Having tawakkul. Tawakkul means let's say trust in Allah. You should trust in Allah, knowing that Allah is Al Hakim, is the all wise, and whatever situation, whatever condition that we are, it is part of the wisdom of Allah that that is the condition that we will be at that time. So accepting that this challenge is that we are facing is from Allah, and we believe that He's Al Hakim and He knows the best at that particular time. There are some times that you think something is good in our own limited wisdom, and from Allah's infinite wisdom, He says that is not what is right at that time. So we have to trust in Allah. We have to believe that whatever it is Allah's wisdom, and He has decided to make it that way at that time. Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Mulk, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا. That we should say that Allah is the beneficent and on Him we rely. So we shouldn't just say this on our tongue alone. We should believe it in our minds. Allah also encourages us in Surah Al-Ahzab, وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. That we should rely on Allah, because Allah is enough as a wakil, is enough as should I say the disposer of our affairs. So whatever it is, Allah has encouraged us that we should always rely on Him. There's also a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that said, if you were to rely upon Allah with the reliance that He is due, with the reliance that is due to Allah, not the ones that will rely and will still be doubting on the other side. The reliance that is due to Allah, if we are to give it to Him, you will be given your provision like the birds. The birds go out hungry in the morning and come back with full bellies in the evening. They don't have job like we do. It's not as if they have one job that they have registered for or anything like that. But when they are going out in the morning, without knowing where the meals will come from, they have total tawakkul on Almighty Allah. And Allah, because they have that total trust in Him, will always provide for them. He will provide for them. So if you can, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is encouraging us that if you can be like the birds, Allah will take care of our affairs. So tawakkul is very important. Also, the second tip that I have here, gratitude. Gratitude. The Oyinbo people will say gratitude is the best attitude. Yes, gratitude is a kind of attitude that is very important that we practice. It is very important that we practice. I don't know, this call is disturbing. Give me a few minutes, please. Can anyone hear me, please?
Clearly, very audible.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So I said gratitude is the best attitude. Ni àwọn olóyìnbó máa ń sọ. So it is important as Muslims that we should practice that gratitude attitude. We should be grateful for the blessings of Allah, the big ones and the supposed small ones. Once you are showing gratitude, even if you don't initially you don't really appreciate that thing, maybe because that is not what you want at that particular time. Once you start saying Alhamdulillah, once you start showing gratitude, that that positivity will enter your mind, and then you began to see the goodness in even that little that you have gotten. So gratitude can, it can give us contentment, it can give us peace, it can give us peace of mind. So when you get something, whether that is what you want or not, once you start showing gratitude, you get there's this kind of satisfaction that Allah will send to your heart. Allah said in Surah to Ibrahim, wa iz ta'adana rabbukum la in shakartum la azidannakum wa la in kafartum inna adhabi lashadid. So la in shakartum la azidannakum, if you show gratitude, I will increase your blessings. I will increase my blessings on you. Wala in kafartum. So here, gratitude is even likened to this belief, and the opposite of it, should I say ingratitude or ungratefulness, whichever one, I know here English, is likened to kufru, that is disbelief. So if you don't show gratitude to whatever Allah has given to you, you don't show contentment, you don't want Allah's plan, it is something else that you want. Allah said, wala in kafartum inna adhabi lashadid. Well, if you disbelieve, then my punishment is very severe. So may Allah save us from his punishment. May he make it easy for us to always be grateful. One other tip that I would like to also share is patience. That is number 3. Patience is something that is easy to say on our tongue, but it's very difficult to practice. And it's a fundamental aspect of maintaining a positive mindset, especially in the face of challenges and adversity. Sabro, it is easier to say. A lot of people say patience, patience. Even those that encourage people to have patience, when it's their turn, it is not easy. It is something that you have to fight your soul to be able to show patience. And Allah said in the Quran, Inna Allah ma'as-sabirin. Allah is with the patient ones. So that alone is supposed to encourage us to be in the camp of Allah. It means when I show patience, Allah is with me. So, and patience makes it easy for us to have to submit everything to Allah, if I can put it that way. Let us look at the story of one of the Sahaba, Bilal ibn Rabah. Bilal was in fact, everything positive mindset is Bilal, or was Bilal. Bilal was that positive person from the beginning of his story. He was that positive person. He was a weak slave. He was a weak Abyssinian slave. He was a slave of Umayyah bin Khalaf. That was in the days of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he was not physically strong. He was that person that was weak, such that when other masters used their slaves for wrestling and all that, or fighting with spears and things like that, Bilal would not participate. Not because he didn't want to, but because he didn't have that physical strength. But when it comes to his mind, he had so much control of his mind. No matter the situation he found himself, there is always something positive about it. So he would say that my body might be enslaved, my body is enslaved by Umayyah bin Khalaf, but my mind is not enslaved. He had so much control of his mind so that he decides what he wants or what he wanted to do. And when he decided to accept Islam, even Washi, that was very physically strong, could not declare his faith in Allah. He could not even accept it in the first place because he thought that would be the end of him, and he could not withstand the torture that his master was likely to give him. But if we look at Bilal, despite his very weak body, he kept on proclaiming that there is no God but Allah, such that his master was so angry, he took him out in the very hot sun and placed a hot stone, a very hot stone on his chest. Those Arabian countries, when we are talking about heat, not the kind of heat that we have here. When those places are hot, they are usually very hot. The desert is usually so hot, so that when you touch the sand barefooted, sometimes it will just be like you are placing your feet on hot iron. That was how hot those places could be. Despite Bilal's weak body, he could withstand all that just because of his faith. He had patience. He had patience with all the torture, such that it was the master that later got tired. People started laughing at him, said that, see this weak Bilal, despite all your koboko, he's still not giving in to you, until Abu Bakr and Siddiq came to buy Bilal and then freed him fi sabilillah. So that was patience in the face of so much torture. Now, so another thing that I want to mention, that's my number 4, is our thinking and our speech. In trying to adopt a positive outlook to life, it is important to refrain from negative speech. Apart from what we have accepted in our mind, we should also make sure that whatever we say is positive. We should, our belief that our tawakkul, that we have decided that we are going to rely on Allah, should reflect in our speech as well. We should ensure that whatever we say out is positive. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Asabru inda sadimatil ula." Whatever you say or however you react at first when a calamity or an adversity befalls you will count for you. So if you're able to be patient at the time that you are receiving a news that is not so pleasant, and you're able to say something positive, it is a very good virtue. Let us look at the story of Prophet Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. Prophet Ismail, when our great grandfather Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam took Ismail to Mecca with his mother Hajar, and they started living there. Some Arabs came to them and all that. When Ismail came of age, he got married to one of the Arabs. But this particular Arab lady was someone that she used to say a lot of things. So when Prophet Ibrahim visited alayhi salatu wasalam, he didn't meet Ismail at home, and then he asked her, how is your living condition? Our living condition is very bad. Oh, in fact, we are suffering. In fact, this, in fact, that. And then he asked, what do you eat? And then she said, it's only meat and water that we eat. There is no kinikon, there is no kinikon. She was complaining. She was lamenting so much that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam sent her. When your husband comes, tell him to change the lock of his gate. So when the husband came, she said, ah, this is what happened though. Somebody, one old man came to look for you, and he asked me about this and that. And I said this and that. And he said I should tell you should do this and that. And then Ismail said, alayhi salatu wasalam, that was my father, and he has asked me to divorce you. It is not because what she said she was going through, she wasn't going through it. She was going through all those things that she said, but it is not the quality of a believer to complain and complain and complain and lament and lament and lament. That is not how the thinking, the mindset of a believer should be. The mindset of a mu'min or a mu'mina is not the one that complains and complains, especially to people. You can take your complaints to Allah while acknowledging the positive things, the additions that He has given you, but you shouldn't be a complainer. By the time Prophet Ismail married the the other wife, the next wife, and then Ibrahim came visiting again, and he asked, how is your living condition? She said, Alhamdulillah, all thanks to Allah. What, this one is not even saying anything negative. What do you eat? He said, we eat meat and water. And Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam prayed for her, may Allah bless the meat and water for you. When your husband comes, tell him that he should retain the lock of his gate. That was a lesson that Nabi Yuna Ibrahim taught us, alayhi salatu wasalam. We should borrow from that. If we relate that to the situation that we find ourselves now, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi rajiun, many of us, most of us, so many of us will be like that first wife of Ismail, because pali indomie to the 5,000, to the 7,000, to the 10,000, to the 11,000. Yes, a lot of things. Bag of rice, to the 35, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, 70, 80,000. Yes, this is really happening. A lot of things are happening these days that, like we said before, sabru becomes difficult. In fact, sabru has become difficult. Gratitude has become difficult. Even tawakkul has become difficult. All these things have become so difficult. Yet, we should not throw away the lessons that we have learned, the lessons that the prophets of Allah have taught us. We should learn from the story of Ismail. We should not be a lamenter. We should not be a complainer. We should be someone that says Alhamdulillah a lot. Even if you are not getting the vibes of Alhamdulillah, keep saying it till it enters your mind that truly Alhamdulillah. By the time you keep showing gratitude, you keep having patience, it will enter your mind and you start seeing yourself as a positive person. We just need to practice it. This sabr, we need to practice it. This tawakkul, we need to practice it. This gratitude, we need to keep practicing it, such that we will be like that second wife of Prophet Ibrahim, Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. Do you think that that second wife too was not feeling the heat that the first one was feeling? She was also feeling it. But because of the faith that she had, the tawakkul that she had, she was able to be patient and grateful. So we should also we should strive to practice these things, so that the faith we have will reflect. It will reflect in our lives. May Allah make it easy for us. So number 5 is dua. We should turn to Allah through prayer. We should turn to Allah through prayer. Yes, we are going through a lot. But like I tell my children, at least we woke up this morning, we woke up in our houses. What about the children in Palestine? No matter what we are going through, we are not going through 10% of what those ones are going through. Their houses have been bombed, children, a lot of things going on there. May Allah please come to their aid. May Allah please come to their aid. So that is enough. Looking at Palestine alone is enough for us to show gratitude to Allah. That should be our own. It's just that rice is expensive. Mafi mushkila. We have our lives, we have our families, we have our homes. Alhamdulillah. So we should look at them and see that Allah is still doing a lot. A lot of things that Allah has done for us, we think they are just casual things. In fact, we have become entitled. We think they are normal things. We wake up in the morning and we think that we have right to wake up. We wake up we wake up, we see our family, and we still think it is our right to have all those things. Shaitan would diminish all those things in our sight so that we can be ungrateful and see that Allah has not done anything for us. So let us practice all those things, bismillah. So I was talking about dua. We should turn to Allah through prayer during times of joy and times of hardship. Turning to Allah through sincere supplication can bring comfort, strength, and sense of positivity, and it fosters a deep connection with Allah. Like I've said when I was talking about Sabru, I also said that we should complain to Allah. Whatever it is in Nigeria or wherever we are, a lot of things are going on, and Allah is aware. Allah knows. Allah knows everything that is happening. Allah is aware of everything that is happening. And we can turn to Him, we can pray to Him. Prayer is a form of submission. Ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Prayer is worship. Even if Allah has not answered that prayer at that time, or He has answered it to another angle that we're not expecting, the fact that you're praying, you are getting reward, because prayer is ibadah. It shows that you're submitting to Allah. And Allah has also encouraged us in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة وإنها لكبيرة إلا على الخاشعين. So Allah has asked us to seek aid in patience and prayer. This patience keeps coming. So we should seek help in patience and then prayer. We should be patient to the people, and then we should take our complaints and lamentations to Allah. We should pray to Allah to grant us ease. So that is one of the ways. Number 6 that I have here is self-reflection, self-improvement, self-awareness. We should always engage in self-reflection and introspection. We should think deeply. We should think to identify and then maybe rectify negative traits and behaviors that we have. We should not just continue to live life without checking ourselves. We should check ourselves. Where was I yesterday? Where am I today? Where am I going tomorrow? It is very important. Let us check ourselves. It is part of the practice of our pious predecessors. They keep checking themselves. Where was I? Where am I? Where am I going to? If we Many of us must have heard the hadith of Handala. Handala was one of the Sahaba of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then one day, Handala went to Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, and he said, Nafako Handala. Handala is a hypocrite. Handala has turned to a hypocrite. Abu Bakr was shocked. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by Nafako Handala? And he explained, I see that each time we are with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of us will be silent, will be very quiet, will listen to everything that he's saying. The fear of Allah will descend upon us, and then we will not even we will be so cold and calm and all that, and we'll fear Allah so much. But Iran, once we get to our houses like this, we'll start playing with our wives, we'll play with our children, we'll eat, we'll make jokes, we do all that. Is that not hypocrisy? When we are now with prophets, we'll not be doing like one somebody that has the Berolon that is plenty. But when we get to our houses, we'll start enjoying life. That is hypocrisy. We are supposed to be in that state that we were, that calm, reflective stage that we were when we were with Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Even when we get home, our wives and children are supposed to still be in that state. And when he said that to Abu Bakr was wondering, this thing you are saying, it seemed true. And even me too, once I get to my house, I will start living with my family, make jokes with them, play with them. I mean, we are hypocrites. Okay, let us go to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So when they got to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he smiled and he told them that, see, that state that you were or that you always are when you're with me, if you can be in that state forever, in fact, angels will shake hands with you on your beds and on your paths and all that. But you see, you have to take your share of this world. You are not angels. Like he explained to them, you are not angels, you are humans. You don't have to always be in that state. There should be the other side of life too. You are supposed to enjoy life. So why did I bring this hadith of Handala? Is to tell us that introspection, self-reflection are some of the things that we met from our pious predecessors, and we should also borrow it because, mashallah, it helps us to stay on track. Bi'idhnillah. Now, trials and tests. That's what my number 7 is about. Trials and tests. There will always be trials. There is no doubt about that. As a Muslim, of course, Allah has already said in the Quran, Ahasiban nasu an yutraku an yakulu amanna wa hum la yuftanun. Is it possible that man think that he will be left alone when he says I believe and then he will not be tested? La. Future impossible tense ni, you must be tested. He also said in Surah Al-Mulk, الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. So Allah will always test us. It is part of our life. What is now our perspective on those trials and tests? Because normally trials and tests, Allah did not send trials and tests so that they will come and devastate us. He didn't send trials and tests so that they will come and spoil our lives. No, that is not the reason. As he has said, he has to send tests so that he can elevate us spiritually. He has to send these tests so that he will know that who is a true believer and who is a weak believer or who is a hypocrite. So we have to go to, just like we go to school, there will be tests, and then when we see the test, they will now pass it, they will now mark it, we will now pass, we will now promote to the next level or next class. This shows us that we need tests to be uplifted, we need tests to be promoted. So it is very important in our lives. So when these tests come, we should not see it as this world has come to an end. We should have a strong faith, a positive mindset to test. Let us look at the story of one of the Sahaba, Mus'ab ibn Umair. Mus'ab ibn Umair was one of the finest young Qurayshi as at the time. The mother was very rich, and whatever he wanted, he always got. Until such that the perfume of Mus'ab ibn Umair, nobody had it in the city of Mecca. Everybody knew that he had that special scent. The washman that used to wash Musab's clothes, as we heard, other people would take their clothes, that please wash my clothes with the water that you used to wash Musab's clothes, so that the perfume of Musab will penetrate their own clothes. That was how special the perfume was. It was always looking, when you hear Tony Tony, that was how Mus'ab ibn Umair was. But when he accepted Islam, his test came. Let me try to summarize it. The mother tried to imprison him in the house. He escaped and all that. And then eventually the mother later withdrew everything that she was giving him. Oh, because I was giving you money, you were enjoying. You stop taking out, I will stop giving you all this. This is how you continue your life. And then Mus'ab ibn Umair still chose Islam. He still had that in his mind, that whatever is with Allah is better than everything that was in this world, or everything that is in this world. So that was what gave him the faith, the resilience. And then Mus'ab, that everybody used to look at, became like a pauper. He didn't even have, just like many other Muslims then, for someone that many dishes will be waiting for him to choose from. So that was the life that Mus'ab ibn Umair later lived. So much so that he was killed on the day of Uhud. And what made the prophet cry and other people cry was that they wanted to bury him, but there was not enough piece of cloth that could cover Musab completely. Musab that had a wardrobe full of beautiful dresses that other people did not have. When they now pull the shroud, when they pull it up, when they pull his dress up, his feet will be showing. When they pull it down, his head will be showing. And then Prophet Muhammad said he should be buried like that, using covering his head and leaving his feet. And one of the things he went through was that his two hands were cut on that day of Uhud. And then Prophet said his two hands have been replaced by wings in Jannah. That was one of the trials, one of the tests that some of the Sahabas went through, and they still passed in flying colors. So we should know that tests are tests because they want to make us better, not because they want to worsen our condition. So that is the positive mindset to test. And lastly, inshallah, the last thing that I want to talk about is unity and support. I always tell people that, see, Islam is not an individual religion. If you watch from the lives of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu and the Sahaba, Islam has always encouraged a communal setting such that we are together, we are doing things together, we are supporting ourselves in whatever we are doing, we are building a positive and a supportive community. If we look at the life of Muhammad Sallallahu and the Sahaba, you will see this a lot. Look at when they come together to achieve a lot of things. Look at the migration. Look at the day of Al Khandak, the trench, when the all the Kafirun, the Romans, the Kineka, all the world power came together. They wanted to overcome Islam, and then Salman Al Farisi suggested to Prophet Muhammad that let us just dig a trench around Medina. Once we dig this trench, they will not be able to come in, and then we will not be able to they will not be able to come in to come and attack us. And everybody, many of them, the Muslims, they came out, they were digging the trench with hungry stomachs, so empty, completely empty stomachs, so much that some of them were so hungry, yet the positivity was still there as they were digging the trench. Digging a trench is not an easy job, oh. Something that they needed strength and energy. Yet, because they were together, they were doing it on an empty stomach. I think it was on that day that they were preparing for conduct that Allah gave Prophet Muhammad a miracle. Sulaim had asked Abu Talha when he came back from he came home from where they were digging. So how is the condition of Prophet Muhammad? And then he said, if the condition is not good or he's very hungry, and then all the Sahabas are hungry too. Then Muslim told Abu Talha that and we have a plate of food at home, but it can only suffice Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It cannot suffice all the others. What should we do? Maybe you should go, Abu Talha, go and invite Prophet Muhammad alone to come to our house for a plate of food. And then Abu Talha went and whispered to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's ears that Sulaim has invited you to come and eat. And then Prophet Muhammad announced to all the Sahabas that let us go to Abu Talha's house. Abu Talha was wondering, Abi did not hear what I said very well. I said one plate of food. I hope this is not trouble like this. Hey, he was so scared. But Prophet was full of confidence that let us go. When they got to the house of Sulaim, and then she presented the plate of food. When she also saw them coming, she was so scared that Abu Talha Tibashejel, he did not dish very well near what happened. And so by the time they came, when Muhammad said, leave the food covered, don't open it. And then he prayed over the food and over the pot of food. And from that pot, they kept serving and serving and serving, and the food was not exhausted. All the Sahaba that have been working since morning ate to their fill on that particular day. That was why I said one of the miracles that Allah gave Prophet Muhammad was on that day when they were preparing for the battle, the Khandak. So Allah multiplied the food. One plate of food eventually sufficed for thousands of Sahaba on that day. They served, and everybody ate. They thought that they were managing, they ate to their fill. Allahu Akbar. What made that possible? They had tawakkul in Allah, and they were working together as a team that believed in Allah and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah said in the Quran, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Taqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqin." Fear Allah and always be with the righteous. Be with the righteous. It's very important to be among righteous people. Sometimes when you want to start failing or you want to start waning, they will be there to pick you up because you are in a community of people that can help you to stay on track because you have the same goal, you have the same target. So it is very important. There's a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that says that the similitude of good company is someone that went to a perfumer, a perfumer's shop. You stay there. Even if you don't buy perfume, people will be coming there, testing, spraying. By the time you leave that perfumer's shop, you will also be smelling nicely, like the smell of the perfume. And the similitude of a bad company is someone that goes to a blacksmith. Even if you don't touch any of the equipment, the smoke of all the things that they have been doing since morning would have penetrated your dress, your body, and then you'll be smelling like smoke. So if you are with good people, if you are with good people, you are likely to pick up beautiful attitude, positive mindset from the people. But if you are with the first wife of Prophet Ismail, you are likely to learn such attitude from them. So it is very important to be among people that will help you to reach your goal and your target on time. هذا أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم
جزاك
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
جزاكم الله خيرا. جزاكم الله خيرا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. May He increase you in wisdom and beneficial knowledge. You have,
جزاكم الله خيرا.
you have indeed done a lot of justice to this question. I will not lie. Jazakum Allah khairan. Thank you so much, ma. We really appreciate
وأنتم فجزاكم.
all the word of wisdom you have shared with us and your core points. May Allah bless you, ma'am. I don't know if anybody have a question for our dearest speaker, because she said she's leaving here by 5:30. So does anybody have any question for her, so we can let her catch up with her other schedule? Questions? If you have any question, you can raise your hand or you can drop it in the chat box. I'll pick it up, or you can mute your mic so we can move very fast. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm counting to 10. If there is no question, so we'll ask questions from the 38 participants of this session. Okay. Can I ask my questions then? Since we don't have questions, and Umm AbdurRahman will be our judge. Inshallah, anyone that gets all the questions correctly, there is a gift attached to it. Inshallah. The first one is, she mentioned, I'll ask 3 questions. So the first one is, she mentioned some things we should watch out for to like a way to positive mindset. So she mentioned some 7 points. I don't know if there is anyone that can tell us what these points are. That's the first question. Then the second question is, she mentioned one eminent person in the history of Islam that has 2 wives, and she was saying those stories that something happened. So, and she brought out 2 lessons from it. That's the second question. Then the third question is, she mentioned one Sahaba that faced a very huge trial, and he eventually died in the Battle of Uhud. Who is the Sahaba? Who was the Sahaba? What trial did he face? And then what trial did he face? And in the end, what happened? What happened? The Sahaba died in the Battle of Uhud, Then something happened. The Prophet now said something after it. So please. Okay, I can see 2 hands raised. Sister Karima or Adebisi. Now, you have the mic. You have the mic. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Our speaker, she talked about Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. That's the second question.
Okay.
And the Sahabis that they caught his hand, his name was Musa. So the Prophet said, well, they caught both his 2 hands. So the Prophet Sallam said, the hand has been replaced with wings. Like the hand will be replaced with wings on the day of the Qiyamah.
Okay, so his name was Musa. Musa what?
Musa.
Is it Musa Adeyeye or Musa Fabile or Musa what?
Musa Ahmed. I didn't really collect that, but Musa Ahmed. I didn't really collect that.
Okay, so let's let another person. Let another person try to.
Assalamu alaikum, ma.
You answer the first question. Oh. The key points. If you want to talk, please raise it. You just have to.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, wa alaikum assalam, Sister Ikma.
Now, the first question, I cannot recollect everything, but can I list the ones
Yes,
I can
please.
remember? She mentioned Sabur. She mentioned Tawakul.
Okay, 1, 2,
She mentioned we should be conscious of what we say with our mouth.
3.
She mentioned to be appreciative, to to be contented, to show gratitude in whatever it is that whatever situation we find ourselves, we should be gratitude.
4.
Those are the 4 I can remember. The
Okay.
question. She taught us from the story of Prophet Ismail through his wife that his father visited. The first wife was not comment
What is the name of the father? The father's name is what?
Prophet was the father.
Ma? Prophet what?
Prophet Ibrahim was the father.
Okay. Okay, so
And
then when Sahaba, like this first sister said, Sister Kaita said Musa. What is his name? The Sahaba's name.
Musa Bunis. I did not get it very well. I don't know if she said Umair or Umair something. I cannot remember. And the prayer was that when he was still can I continue?
Yes.
When he was still a kafir, he has everything that he wanted. His mother was a wealthy one, and after he converted to Islam, his mother tried various methods to bring him back to Kufru, but he stood strong. He did not deviate because of that. He has his trust in Allah. And during the Battle of Uhud, he was killed. And one of the trials that he faced then was that the covering that was given to him was not enough. It's either his leg was outside or his head was outside. And the Prophet said they should bury him like that. and his two hands were cut during the battle, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that those two hands are being replaced by wings in Jannah.
Okay, Barakallahu fikum. Okay, I think another sister wants to try. Sister Aisha, you raised your hand. She mentioned 7
Assalamu
points.
alaikum, ma. Okay, ma.
Now 7 points. Then the second question, the two prophets that were mentioned in our story. Then the third question is what's the other question again? The Sahaba, something happened. What were the things? What lessons do you think we should learn from it? So, Sister Aisha, over to you now. Let's make it snappy so that our
Okay,
dearest
ma.
can start by 5:30.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please, ma, the two prophets you were talking about, she mentioned different prophets. She mentioned Prophet Ismail. And she mentioned Prophet Ismail when she was talking about that the first wife, when she was trying to mention that we should be watchful of the type of people we relate with. That there is a particular hadith that talks about when you move with good people, it is a similitude as though you go to someone that does perfume. So even if you do not touch it or do not participate in the activity, you also have a share of the good saints. And also, if you relate with bad people, and it is a similitude of someone that does blacksmith, even if you do not touch anything or partake in anything, the flame and everything will also have effect on you. So she mentioned that it's just like someone that is like the first wife of Prophet Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam, that even if you relate to someone like that, you also have a share of our character. And as for the first question, I was observing Sola, so I didn't join early. I'm sorry about that, but I could deduce that something about sober, sincerity, tawakkul. I wouldn't be able to mention the seven because I joined late. I'm sorry about that. So that's about the first and also the second. And for the third, she mentioned this Sahaba who is Mus'ab bin Umair. After he asked, is this Sahaba such that if he uses perfume and he passes a place, even for 3 days, people will still be perceiving his perfume? And also the water that they use to wash his clothes, people will also want them to use the water to wash their clothes so that the perfume can also be perceived in their clothing. And also when he died, he partook in battle of Uhud, and when he died, his two ends were cut, and when they wanted to bury him and they wanted to shroud him, the cloth, when they pull it upward, it won't reach down. When they pull it down, it won't reach up. So the Prophet ﷺ said they should pull it up to cover his head, and also his leg should be opened. And the Prophet said that the two ends that were cut, that it will be replaced with wings for him in Jannah. Now, so that is the little answer I can give, ma.
Okay, Barakallahu fikum. That means you missed out the first question. You could only
For
mention
me, ma.
about the second and third question. Barakallahu fikum. Okay, so inshallah, after the end of the whole session, we'll discuss who should win it between Sister Ikma and Sister Aisha. So Bismillah, Sister Aasiyah Sirajudeen. Okay, she's here with us. I think most of us know her. She's popularly known as Baby Muslima. She's a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University. Ile-Ife, and she currently runs Judama Institute. She's an homeschooling mom of two and a passionate Quran teacher. She's actually good at what she does. May Allah put barakah in her endeavors, and may Allah bless her. Thank you so much, ma, for honoring our invitation. We are most grateful to you. May Allah honor you. May He subhanahu wa ta'ala never leave you to your affairs. for benefiting us with this knowledge which you have possessed. May Allah not diminish you. May He increase you in beneficial knowledge. Now, Sister Aasiyah Sirajudeen, you have the mic. Thank you so much. Red carpet, red carpet, red carpet. So you can start now, ma.
Now, thank you so much. Thank you, yes. So my voice has gone actually. Hope you can hear me, please.
Oh,
And there was no way
yes.
I didn't have mouth to tell AUI that this is this, so I must not bring anything up. So I just have to be here. I am so sorry. Please manage my voice. إن الحمد
No
لله
problem.
نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Please, am I audible, please? Can we all hear me?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I can hear you, ma.
Thank you, Sister Aisha. So, the topic is the perils of procrastination during Ramadan. We'll be focusing on what procrastination could do to us in Ramadan if we permit it. But before I go into that, the English people, they used to say something. They will say, when the use of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. When you have something and you don't know the benefits of that thing, when you have something and you don't know the usefulness of that thing, there's no way you will not abuse that thing. So for that reason, I'm going to take us, quickly, in few minutes, the benefits of Ramadan. This Ramadan that we are talking about, I want to tell us few things about Ramadan so that it will serve as a reminder for us that Ramadan is not just a month. It is just not a month. This is the best of all months. In it, we have the best of all nights. In it, the best of books. Al Quran was revealed in it. So let me quickly remind us about things that we could benefit from in the month of Ramadan and why we must strive in the month of Ramadan. We pray Almighty Allah make us witness the month and more of it. So our Ramadan is one of the pillars of Islam. One of the pillars of Islam, like we all know, as reported by the Prophet ﷺ, that we have 5 pillars of Islam. The Shahadatain, then we have others too, and Ramadan, some Ramadan is one of them. So wherever Almighty Allah permits to witness Ramadan, that means the person is taking care of one of the pillars of Islam, which is compulsory upon an adult, a baligh, active, a person with a sane person, and whoever is capable. So this is to tell us that observing Ramadan is from the aspect of taking care of one of the pillars of Islam. And we know the pillars of Islam are compulsory upon us, except the one that we are not able to do, like Hajj. So if one is able to fast and the person is not fasting, that is another thing entirely. And in the month of Ramadan, it was reported by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, whereby he said, the Prophet ﷺ said, in the month of Ramadan, the gates of paradise are open and the gates of hellfire are closed. And this is to tell us that Ramadan is not the month of play. It's not the month of doing anyhow. Because they said the gates of paradise are open. They are not just open. They are open so that we will strive and be one of the the people that will enter paradise, and the gates of hell are closed, so that we are going to stay away from whatever we take one to hellfire. We pray Almighty Allah save us from such. So this is to tell us that the month of Ramadan is for striving. And inside this month of Ramadan is the night of majesty, Laylatul Qadr. We have learned so many things about Laylatul Qadr. Whoever missed Laylatul Qadr, the person has missed something that can be quantified. We pray Almighty Allah make us witness it. It is also the month of Quran. Like I mentioned when I started, uh, can we remember that this month of Ramadan is what the dead people, as it was narrated, that they will be praying to Allah or asking Allah that they want to witness one. You should just please let them witness one. Now see us, the Almighty Allah count us. We pray Almighty Allah make us witness it, because that we are here today does not mean we will witness Ramadan. We will just be begging him. We pray Almighty Allah make us witness Ramadan. So for them to be asking that, oh Allah, make us witness one Ramadan, we should know that if we are able to witness Ramadan, it is a great mercy. It is a great blessing upon us rather. And excuse me, please. Sorry, please. Sorry, please. So like I was saying, if from his mercy we are able to witness Ramadan, we should all know that it is not for play. And it is this same Ramadan that the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever perform Umrah inside Ramadan is like a person who perform Hajj with him. So many benefits inside the month of Ramadan. Acts of good deeds, all those worship, their reward are multiplied inside this same month of Ramadan. Can anybody tell us the reward of a fasting person? No one can tell us that, because Almighty Allah said that one is with him. Only Allah knows the reward of a fasting person. So this is to tell us that we should not take it as a joke. We should not play with it. It is a month of striving. It's not a month of celebration. It's not a month of eating. Not a month of, all those things and all. It is a month of worship. A month that we must strive well. God might Allah make us witness it. And this will take us to the aspect I was told to talk about. Like I mentioned earlier, in the month of Ramadan, we are to engage in so many acts of worship so that we'll be among the successful ones. Because it's not everybody that witness Ramadan that will benefit from it, either fully or partially. We pray might Allah make us benefit from it fully. So many acts of worship, fasting in the month of Ramadan, standing, the yam, during the day, during the night, sadaqah, sharing food, feeding the fasting person, recitation of the Quran, tadabbur, sitting in gatherings of knowledge, i'tikaf, umrah, dhikri, different acts of worship in the month of Ramadan. All these things will not permit us to just keep, to just freestyle. It is a month whereby we want to gather so much reward. It is a month that we are hoping that Almighty Allah will increase us in piety. It is a month that we are hoping that it will serve as a gateway to Jannah for us. We should all know that that is not a month of play, but there is something. There is a weapon that Shaitan uses, a very strong weapon that Shaitan uses to hinder people from benefiting from the month of Ramadan. Not only month of Ramadan, from benefiting from things that will benefit human being. And one of the things is procrastination. Procrastination. Like I said, the month of Ramadan is for working, but there is something that will prevent people. There is an hidden evil. You know, this procrastination that we are talking about, one cannot even quantify what the person has missed. You can't quantify it, but you just notice that, oh, let me recite a few pages of Quran. You know, it is the month of Ramadan. Another thing is telling you that you can still check WhatsApp for more 30 minutes now. Then you check 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes, they still tell you, check Facebook, check what is going on. You can read Quran later. And like that, like that, like that, the time is going. That was why I said it is a hidden weapon that the devil used to waste people's time. It uses it to hinder people from performing good deeds. In fact, when I got this topic, the first hadith that came to my mind was the hadith. You don't know if you remember about this particular Sahaba, Ka'b bin Malik. Ka'b bin Malik. And we all remember what happened during the Ghazwa to Tabuk. You know, one of the battles that the Prophet Sallam fought. To brief that story, you know, when it was time after the Prophet Sallam has told the Sahaba that there will be a battle, you people should start preparing. The Prophet Sallam told them a lot of things, how they should prepare, how they should do this, what they should expect, because it won't be an easy battle. And also, Sahaba, you know, they are not like us. They started preparing. And this particular Sahaba, Ka'b bin Malik, you know, he joined them, but he later remembered that he wanted to take care of something at home. Ka'b bin Malik went home. He went home to take care of things. And you know, while still at home, he was like, I will join the Sahaba. You know, they later moved. They were moving towards the battleground. They were going. He was still at home saying, I will join them. I will join them. I will join them. You know, procrastinating. In fact, that was how this honored Sahaba, that was how he procrastinated till the battle ended. When they started moving back to Mecca, you know, he started feeling uncomfortable. He was so sad. He was so depressed, you know, expecting them. And when the Prophet ﷺ came back, the Sahab, you know, when they left for the battle, there will be some people that were not capable of following them. And there will be some capable people that will come up with different excuses. For instance, the hypocrite. The hypocrite, they will find one lies. They will weave, like the Yoruba people will say, one hurrah, just that, so that they will not be able to follow the companions to the battle. You know, when they all left and things like that, it was then that Ka'b realized that, hey, won't I be among the hypocrites like this? In fact, it was said that when he looked around the Mecca, apart from the incapable Muslims, the people that are left, there were three of righteous Sahaba that could not make it to the war. So to cut it short, when the Prophet came, they were giving excuses why they were. You know, he said he has even thought of a lie. He has even thought of an excuse, but he feared that Almighty Allah might reveal something regarding him. He told the Prophet the truth, and the Prophet said, you can go. Wait till what Almighty Allah has to say regarding your matter. He left, but he was on punishment. And the punishment was that no Muslim should talk to Ka'b bin Malik. In fact, he has to wait for 50 good days, 50 days, whereby no Muslim were talking to them. No Muslims were talking to them. In fact, it was said after 40 days, Prophet Salam said they should let their wife go so that they will not have any affairs with women and things like that. But Almighty Allah later forgive them. But before the forgiveness came, they have gone through a lot. So this is to tell us that procrastination can cost us a lot of things. It can cost us a lot of things. And this procrastination is one of the bad habits of the hypocrite. Yes, it is one of the bad habits of hypocrite. Almighty Allah says in Surah An-Nisa about the hypocrite. Almighty Allah said, when they come to Salah, innal munafiqina yukhadi'una Allah wa huwa khadi'uhum wa idha qamu ila salati qamu kusala yura'una an-nasa wa la yadhkuruna Allah illa qalila. That the hypocrite, whenever it is time for Salah, whenever it is time for them to stand up for Salah, they will come kusala, with laziness. They will stand up with laziness. They don't come with the zeal. They come with laziness, and they come so that people will see them that, oh, so is worshiping Allah. But what I want to use there is that they come with laziness. They come with laziness. And this is to tell us that if someone procrastinates too much, or procrastination is not from the good things, is not a good habit for Muslims to have. So we should beware of procrastination, and not only in Ramadan, even outside Ramadan. Though we are focusing on Ramadan, another place in the Quran, mighty Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, ma lakum idha qila lakum unfiru fi sabilillahi thaqaltum ila al-hawdi araditum bil hayati dunya min al-akhirati fama mata'ul hayati dunya fil akhirati illa qalil. Sorry, my voice, even I am not comfortable. But what I'm saying is that Almighty Allah say, oh, you believers, what happened to you that whenever they call you to jihad, whenever they call you to the cause of Almighty Allah, Usala, you will be feeling lazy. You will hold on to the ground. You will not want to stand up on time. So this is to tell us that laziness is not what procrastination rather is not what a Muslim should be proud of. It's not from things that we should meet in our load as Muslims, because it could cost one a lot of things. Not meeting targets. For instance, we have so many people when they take works from others. I'm even talking about Sarah, let me do this. I will do it. I will do this. Don't worry, I will do it. I will do it later. I will do it later. I will do it later. Till the deadline came. So, apart from the fact that procrastination will make one delay good deeds. That is if the person later do it. That is if the person later do it. Because you can procrastinate to the extent that one will not be able to meet up with that. For instance, we have some goodies that are time bound. Let's use Salatul Duha as an example. Salatul Duha is not what you can say, I'll perform it later. I'll perform it later. Then they call the Adhan for Dhuhr, and you feel like, let me perform Duha. That one has gone, and it has gone forever. It has gone forever. It can never come back again. So one evil thing that procrastination does is that it will make one miss performing good deeds. At times, those good deeds will go forever. At times, even when you later want to do it, it won't be like when you wanted to do it at first. And the Prophet said, La tahkiranna shay'an min al-ma'ruf. Don't count any act of good deed. Don't count any good deed. Don't count it as insignificant, or you feel like, well, later. And before you know it, the thing has gone. Because, a human being, we rely so much. We have this hope that we have this hope of long life. We have this hope of long life. That is why some of us will feel like, if I don't do it now, I'll do it later. Who promised us later? Who told us that later will come? So that later may not come. And that is why not only outside Ramadan, especially in the month of Ramadan, we don't pray this is the last one we witness. We don't pray this is the last one we witness. We pray Almighty Allah make us witnesses. So if we are opportune, which we are praying, please let us know that whoever witnessed Ramadan has witnessed a great thing from the mercy of Almighty Allah. So we should not let procrastination, we should not let it win. And lots of procrastination we do is that it make us lose precious time, precious time, good opportunities one could meet. It was reported that Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, people, many people incur loss in two things, and those things are health and free time. Health and free time, isn't it? Honestly, it is. It is. Because at times, when we have free time, a lot of us, we prefer to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. Was that not what the prophet was saying? So procrastination could make one, it could affect one connection with Allah. It could affect one connection with Allah because you will not move. For instance, we have hadith where the Prophet said, we should perform a lot of voluntary acts of worship because it brings one near to Allah. And that is where the question lies. How many voluntary worship are we performing? Even the compulsory one, how do we perform them? How do we perform them? And whoever procrastinates so much, the person will do less of voluntary worship. That is it. Because you will have this mindset that if I don't do it, after all, it is not a sin. It is not a sin. And by doing this, the connection between Almighty Allah will not be straightened. So we should avoid procrastinating. We should avoid procrastinating. So now I would like to talk about okay, I think I still have more time. Ways in which one can beat procrastination. Ways in which one can beat procrastination. And the first one I'll be talking about is to identify the enemy. Identify the problem. You see, one thing is that when a problem is not identified, solution cannot come. Solution cannot come. For instance, you notice someone has a problem and the person does not know. Then you keep talking. This thing, don't do this. This thing, the person will just be looking at you like, kidding me. Because the person does not know he or she has a problem. So you can't help. When a problem is not identified, there is no solution. So the first thing is problem identification. Procrastination. Procrastination. Because this procrastination, it affects us verily. It affects us verily. Because for some people, it is just mid procrastination. Those ones, they don't just want to, don't just want to do this. I will do it later. Small tasks. They're supposed to do on time. They feel like later, even when that one is too bad. But for some people, procrastination is controlling their life. Procrastination, it has got to a stage that is what is controlling their lives. They don't have power over it again. We pray Almighty Allah save us from such. We pray Almighty Allah save us from such. So when it has reached this stage, it is very serious. Because the person won't be able to do things that they are supposed to do, even things that they must do, they will not do it. They will not do it. So number one is that we must identify the problem. We must identify okay, this is the problem. I procrastinate a lot. In what level? This level, this level, this level, this. Okay, problem identified. Then let's talk about solution. Because problem identification is one of the solution. And the second thing is that, our day, to have a productive day, don't let us deceive ourselves. Don't let us deceive ourselves. If you want to have a productive day today, it starts from yesterday. Your today start from yesterday. Even the Yoruba people will say, Saturday tó bá máa dára, Jímọ̀ la máa ti mọ̀. It sounds funny, but that is it. Imagine a person that slept around 2 a.m. yesterday. The person slept around 2 a.m. today, rather. You know, I said in rare cases, there is no way that sleeping late won't affect the person's productivity. There is no way. Even if the thing does not affect that day, we have some strong people. Like when I was also in school, I can read overnight and nothing will happen. But the time that one will later sleep all those sleeps, you will know that you have lose some things in that process. So what I'm trying to say is that let's always have it in mind that our today start from yesterday. And that is where sleeping early comes in. If you want to have a productive day, try and sleep early. I know it may not be easy for a lot of us, but if you want to, engage in some, for instance, Ramadan is coming now. That is what we are preparing for by doing this program. How to have a productive Ramadan. If you know that you want to start your acts of worship, it's a person that feel like, oh, I'm going to work by 7 a.m. This person is going to work by 7 a.m. And this same person was the one that slept 2 a.m. yesterday. And the person will cook sahur for the family. Person must wake up by 4 a.m. and will be in office by 7 a.m. You see, no matter how strong we are, those things will later affect. So let's all, and one thing is that if one could use the day well, which is what we are trying to work towards, if you could use your day well, you will have plenty things to settle till midnight. I don't know if we are following. Are we together, please?
Yes, I'm with you, Mama.
Okay. Be
Procrastination is not making them here.
I'll be my voice. Okay. So what I was saying was that even doctors and health people, they will tell us that to perform well, I think they said 6 hours of sleep or so. I think some even said more. This is to tell us that our productivity has to do with the rest we are able to get. You might be thinking, how does this one relate to procrastination? When you are not energized, there is a higher possibility that you procrastinate. That is it. You cannot discuss procrastination without discussing laziness. They are sister and brother. They are sister and brother. I be sister, I be twin sister. So the second thing I mentioned was that you should try and be going to bed early as much as possible. As much so I will be able to prepare ahead. Almighty Allah said in Surah to Isra, Inna Quran al-Fajr kana mashhuda. The Quran recited in the early morning is being witnessed by the Malaika. So someone decided that, oh, I want to be reciting the Quran very early in the morning, let's say 4:30. A person cannot be sleeping by 2 a.m. and be making it by 4:30. Even when the person make it, the person will not know when the Quran will fall from her hand. They will say you cannot cheat sleep. That is it. Let me leave that place and go to another point. So another thing is that we should start our day well. We should start our day well. You see, some of us, we have some Muslims that miss their daily azkar, their morning azkar. Inside this particular morning azkar, there's somewhere where it is read, Rabbi a'udhu bika min al-kasal. We all know it. Wasuhil kibar. Min al-kasal is what we are talking about. This laziness, this procrastination. So let's start our day with worship. Let's start our day with the remembrance of Allah. Let's start our day with adhkar. In fact, for some of us, especially mothers and things like that, it is the things that you are able to do, especially worship, that you are able to do in the earliest part of the day. That is the ones you will enjoy most. Because once those people wake up, so we should try and start our morning well. Let's have routine. No matter how is it just 2 pages of Quran? Is this just 5 lines? Something. Let's just start our day well, because these are the things that makes one want to do more. Those are the things that make one want to, you have spent your money well, you have done your azkar, that energy will even be there. You have read the Quran, you have done some acts of worship in the earliest parts of the morning. It is a good way to start. And those things will reflect in the productivity of the day. So we should always use our money well. We have some people, once they wake up, the next thing is to carry phone. I know there's nobody like that here. Oh. I'm just saying my own. So another thing is that we should set our goals. Ramadan is coming. We should set our goals. Achievable goals, please. Achievable goals. Because some goals are not achievable. As far as human being is concerned, at times you will see some people will write goals, all these things, different things, different. Even when you see it, you will know inside you that this goal that this person set, it is not for me. Let's set achievable goals. The whole month of Ramadan, how many Quran do I want to recite? Is it two? I mean, the complete the Quran. Is it two? Do you have the power for six? Is it one? So we should set our goals for Ramadan. By morning, how do I want to spend my morning? If you want to achieve reciting the whole Quran 3 times, you should have mapped it out. How many pages will I read in the morning? One thing is that whenever we don't plan our day, we tend to use those days as they come. A day you don't plan for, you are liable to use it as it comes. You just freestyle. You don't have what you want to do in the morning. You don't have where you are going in the afternoon. You don't, you haven't planned all those things. There is a high possibility that you are going to spend the day at his, though, from the corner of Allah, we will plan at times and it will work. But this is not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that a day that you have already mapped out what you want to do. For instance, the month of Ramadan, you have already written what you want to do. My Haktar daily, Tadabbur. How many verses of Quran do you want to do Tadabbur? Even if it is just one, you will know that each day in the Quran, in each day in the Ramadan, rather, I am going to do the Tadabbur of this verse, this one verse. And let us be putting time. You see, at times, at times, this is how we say, oh, I am not able to, I don't recite daily. Then if you ask, what time of the day do you recite? They will say, oh, anytime. If you put time, the implication of putting time is that you will be looking forward to that time till it comes. And if you miss the time, maybe from, condition, if you miss the time, what you'll be running after is how to make up that. Do we get what I'm saying? So let's set goals and map out how we want to achieve those goals so that we will not just be spending our days as they come, and the month of Ramadan is actually a great opportunity one must not miss. Another thing is that let's prioritize in the month of Ramadan, prioritize acts of worship to other things. Prioritize acts of worship. Prioritize connecting to Almighty Allah. Prioritize it over other things. We have some workers that it is during the month of Ramadan that they take their leave. We have people like that. They won't go for leave throughout the year until the month of Ramadan. And this is for them to make better use of the month. So I'm not saying we should take leave, but what I'm saying is that let's set priority between social media or 5 pages of Quran. Choose one. Which one will you choose? Between between gisting and doing afkar, choose one. Which one will you choose? So when we set our priorities, it makes it easy for us to use our time beneficially. Another thing is that do it. Do it. Once it comes to your mind, in the month of Ramadan, once that act of worship comes to your mind, do it. You are lying down on the bed. It is time for duha. Stand up. Immediately it comes to you, immediately you think it. If it is a good deed, don't think it too much. Like, okay, when those children sleep, I will do it. Just do it. The one you have done is for you. The one you have done from the mercy of Allah, it has been written for you. So the point that I'm talking about is do it. That act of worship, do it. That Quran you want to recite, do it. That adkar, do it. That food you want to share it. That sadaqah you want to do it. Any act of worship you think of in the month of Ramadan, as soon as it is coming to your mind, do it. There is this fulfillment that comes with all those things. And this will be achieved if one, procrastinates. In fact, even the compulsory worship, some people procrastinate. They have called the Hadan. Some people will sit with film. This season is almost finished. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Please, let's be very careful. Let's be very careful. So once you think that good deed, just do it. Then the last one we're talking about is dua. We can't do anything on our own. Nothing can we do on our own. And at times, we used to, is it that we forget to ask, or we find it unnecessary to ask. If I pray so much, oh my Allah, this evil of procrastination, remove it from my life. Some people feel like, is that not a strong prayer? So we can pray about it. And inside this last point, I will put azkar. We have a lot of azkar that have to do with procrastination, laziness, and things like that. In fact, personally, whenever I feel like share, then I start this azkar. Allahumma ha'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatika. I love the azkar so much. Human being can easily get carried away. So these azkar and many other azkar, like money azkar, if you do your money azkar with faith, that's one of the things that, at times we'll be saying azkar, let's do azkar. Sincerely, some of us, the azkar we do does not pass our tongue. The azkar that we do will not pass our tongue because we are just saying it. So money azkar, which is done with faith, Almighty Allah can use it as sabab. So we have azkar, so many azkar that has to do with this particular thing that we are talking about, procrastination, laziness. So a lot of them, even from Hisnul Muslim, we have them. Then the one that I read the other time too. So I'm going to stop here, inshallah. Please now. No, I'm sorry, please. So I'm going to stop here, inshallah. Subhanakallah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khairan ma. May Allah bless you. May Allah make you, may Allah increase you in knowledge. We are very grateful you have indeed shown us you are a mommy Muslima, not baby Muslima. Thank you so much, ma. Okay, ma. I don't know if anyone has questions. We have all heard what procrastination does to our ibadah. We have heard what procrastination does to us in our general life. And we have had a lot of things, a lot of ways in which we can minimize the rate at which we procrastinate. So I don't know. Okay, I'm seeing hands already. Please, if you want to ask our baby Muslima any question, please put up your hand and inshallah you will be called upon. And if you are too shy to speak, you can just drop your question in the chat box. We will pick it up now. Sister Ikma, you have the mic, ma. Please unmute your mic.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I'm still
Now,
Alaikum salam.
I want to specially appreciate you. Jazakumullahu khairan. It is as if
I mean, one.
this particular topic, you are talking to me. It is me you are talking to. And I'm grateful to Allah that made it easy for me to attend this session because it is very rare of me. May Allah forgive me. I really appreciate it. May Allah reward you. May He count for you and not against you. Bismillah. Now, my question is that in the case of a mother that, for example, now let me just go straight to the point. Let me not say in the case of a mother. Sometimes that for her to subhi, I want to do my moja or do something. Well, quite unfortunately, there are times that I feel sleepy. Yes, I am very guilty of late sleeping. I'm really guilty of that. So sometimes after Salah like that, I am trying to probably do Roja, or if I start feeling sleepy, sometimes I stand up, walk around just to clear my face or, but in the end, when I don't want to go back to sleep, and well, what I'm about to do is not working, I just say, well, I will do it later, because maybe it's because I'm sitting in one position, or maybe my body is just in action at that period. So I leave. Most of the time, it's usually moroja or hifz. It is usually something associated with the Quran or maybe azkar. I will just leave it, that I'll come and do it later. Sometimes I'm able to actually do it later, but sometimes I'm not able to meet up maybe until the end of the day around Asri, Maghrib, and sometimes I'm not even able to do it at all. Please, what advice can you give me in that regard? Then my second question is that, talking about azkar too, that some of us, most of the time, what we do is we recite it as words of the mouth. It doesn't get to our hearts. I find myself doing this a lot too, though not intentionally. Sometimes I'm putting my mind at it, but before I know it, I'm carried away. I started thinking of another thing, and sometimes I don't usually get to sit down and recite it after Salah too, because of falling asleep. So I feel convenient doing it while doing something else, like keeping my hands, my body busy, so my face will be clear. Because if I sit down after Salah, I've tried it before, maybe if I sit after Salah and do it, I will be more concentrated. I will concentrate more on it. But most of the time, in the process of doing it, I might doze off or fall asleep and end up not even completing it sometimes. So what can you advise? Like, okay, maybe I'm cooking in the kitchen, I'm sleeping, I'm doing this. How can I inculcate khushu in what I'm doing? So those are my questions, ma.
Then you are ma. Can I talk, ma?
Yes, ma.
Then you are okay. Now, Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Sorry, please. You see, mothers, our own cases are special. Our own cases are special. Like I used to tell my fellow students of Quran that if you are a mother, You should not procrastinate like we were saying, because are we not the one that we have appointments, and it is on the day of appointment that maybe one of your child will be sick and everything will just turn upside down. That is it. It is also from the mercy of Allah. But what I got from what you said, Ma, is that it actually starts from sleeping late. The problem starts from sleeping late. Honestly, personally, things are not constant, but I have studied myself that if I sleep so time, this is the time I will wake up, and these are the things I will be able to achieve. Any day that I sleep late, I know that even from that night, I know that I am already in soup, because I know that my day will be affected. So the first thing I want you to look into, ma, is going to bed early. When it becomes one's part, honestly, all those distractions, they will obey. That is human being. All those things that keep ones late, when they see that another habit has been formed, habit of sleeping early has been formed, they will obey. Before, my kids used to sleep late, not late like that, not really late, this 9, 10, and I don't like it. So I have to start taking them to bed after Isha. And even after taking them, I realized that I can do some things. Another thing that used to affect us as mothers is that we allow our kids to sleep late. It really affects us. And for them too, it has effect on them. So one thing is that we should try and be putting them to bed early, especially those children that still need our attention. Those kids that still need our attention, we should try and train them on how to sleep early. For instance, if they sleep around 9 or 8, there are things that you can still achieve before you going to bed personally. Or let's talk about kids. I have my friends' kids that sleep after Maghrib. They were telling them that if they are kind of older, they should make them wait till after Isha, or give them dinner before Isha, so that once they are back, they are going to bed. In fact, it even got to a stage that even if you are not sleeping, please just go inside. So that you will have time for yourself as a mother. So if going to bed early, honestly, that thing used to improve one productivity. I have tried this. I am still doing it. I have tried it and I'm still doing it. So you can look into that, ma. You can look into that. And about money as car, or even as car, not sitting down to recite as car. Yes, it happens to us. For instance, this after Salah, whereby they say after every compulsory Salah, you should read our askar, then Kursi. They say whoever used to read Kursi after compulsory Salah, it is a means to attain Jannah. Many mothers will not be able to sit. So that is another aspect. Once we stand up, we should continue. In fact, one of the scholar even gave the fatwa that if you are not even where you pray, you can still recite it as you do your thing. So we are just going to try and train our mind so that I'll be able to, for instance, if I want to read evening as cow now or morning as cow, till today I still hold the book. Even when I know it's often, I still hold the book. I remember someone telling me that you still hold this book. Why do you hold it? I said I know myself. If I read one of their car and I say, Madam, it has gone. But if I am holding it after the Madam, I will remember that I was reading something, then I will continue. So, for a lot of us that are still in the early stage of parenting, we should not just lose ourselves into it. We just have to try and add everything. Try, and we will just be striving. It won't be easy. Honestly, it won't be easy. And we should reduce time wasters. A lot of time we used to believe we don't have time. No, it is not every time that we don't have time. Sometimes what we are using those time for are not what we are supposed to be using them for. So I don't know if that has actually answered your question, because this is my struggle, just like it is the struggle of some of us here. Sister Hikma. No,
Yes, ma'am. Jazakumullah.
I mean, once more. Ṣé you are one Lesha?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh, Sister Aisha.
Yes, ma. When you were doing the lecture,
Nah?
is that
It's breaking, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Sister Aisha. I can't hear. Please, can anybody hear me so that we know where the problem is? I didn't hear your question, ma.
during your lecture,
Yes, ma.
you talked about maybe some Sahabas that maybe they were neglected for 50 days. I don't know. I had 50 days. That time my data got exhausted and I need to do another one. So I didn't get that 50 days that their wives were made to leave them or something.
Yes, the Muslims, the Prophet ﷺ commanded the Muslims not to talk to them. You
Okay.
get now? The Prophet ﷺ commanded the Muslims because of what they did. What they
Okay.
did, the Prophet commanded the Muslims not to talk to them for 50 days. For 50 days.
What did
And
they
I
do,
said,
please, ma?
ah, during the Gospel to Tabuk, the Battle of Tabuk,
Okay.
for instance, the Carbon Malik that I talk about, he procrastinated to the extent that he was not able to join the army of the Prophet ﷺ to the war till they came back home. So that was what they did. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma. Okay. Exactly. Okay. And then
I
you
mean,
said there is a particular azkar that worked for you.
yes, Allahumma inni ala dhikrika. Oh Allah, help me on remembering you. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa
Okay.
shukrika, in being
Work.
grateful to you. Wa husni ibadatika, and in worshiping you in beauty. Wa husni ibadatika, you know, and in worshiping you, seeking help from Allah to help one on his remembrance, gratitude to him, and worshiping him. Do you understand now?
Now, exactly. Okay. So, which battle did they not go for? Those people. Which battle was that?
Tabuk.
Tabuk. Okay. Exactly. Okay, ma.
I want.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you so much, ma. Sister Opayemi Opatade, you are raising your hand. Do you want to say something, ma?
Naam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam. Please, ma, let it be a bit brief so we can
Jazaki.
round
Naam.
up by 8:30.
Jazakallahu
Ma, I said
khairan.
you should let it be brief. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I
I
mean,
didn't
want
get you clearly. Jazakallahu khairan. Mommy, baby Muslima. Thank you so much for the section. It's a very beautiful one. So you said it's a very good thing. Like one should try to make the kids sleep very early. Yes, yes, you have said the truth. But some kids, like my child, she sleeps very late, around 12 or even 1 a.m. Tí kò tí ní sùn, and it used to affect me. In fact, ó máa affect subhi mi àti, and then I would have to
Definitely,
sleep back. Now,
definitely, Oma affecting.
yeah, so how can I help her to sleep early? Because I have tried my best sincerely, and I don't even know what else to do.
What time does she wake up? Tó bá sùn ní wáyé,
Very
aago
late,
mélòó?
yes. Ìgbà
Aago
míì
mélòó máa
10 a.m., 11 a.m. ló máa tó jí.
uh, well, she is still a baby, actually. She's still a baby. Though we have people that put baby to bed early. One thing is that, as in, what are the things? Some things used to help sleep. Some things make sleeping comes. Maybe for some people, let them just bath, they will sleep. For some
Okay.
people, though this one is haram, let them listen to music, they will sleep. Some people will tell you that if they watch film 5 minutes, they are asleep. Some people will tell
That's
you
my mom.
if you switch off lights in few minutes, they are asleep. So you
Okay.
can try and find all those things that make us sleep. If it is breastfeeding, we have some kid. If you breastfeed them, they will sleep. But being a baby, there is no much things that,
She's
and she will still change actually. She will still
she's
change.
almost two.
Another
She's
thing is
not a
that
baby.
if she wakes early, if she sleeps around 1 and she's able to wake by 6, ó máa tètè sùn lọ lọ́jọ́ yẹn, kò sí ni. Because she has not able to cover that sleep that she missed. Do you understand what I'm saying? For instance, ó sùn ní 1, ó wá jí ní 6, kò tíì sun oorun yẹn tán. She has not, that sleep, she has not covered it. So if something disturb her and she wake up, that is a plus. But being a child, if you don't know that thing that make her sleep, you actually can't really help the matter for now. But she will still change. And you too, do you sleep when she is not sleeping?
Ah, I don't get to sleep when she's not sleeping because I have a lot of things to do. Most
Yeah.
especially, I'll be in the
Maybe
kitchen.
you should be lying her down. When it is time, lie her down and lie beside her. That thing too helps. If it is time for her sleep, lie her down. You to lie down. She will know that. That thing you are recording something in her brain like that. So at times she's not sleeping and you leave her playing and playing. She will continue playing. But let her know that if you are going to switch off the light, switch off. You too, you can even do your things on time and know that today we are sleeping early. If you switch off the lights, if she's not crying, I in fact some people will leave the child. Say if the child is fine, she will cry and sleep. So
Nah, I do
at
that
times, maybe you are
sometimes.
not giving her signal to sleep, you too. So at times, they don't know. They don't know if it is morning or night. That is it. So you can just try and make her know that it is time to bed. Inshallah,
Nah,
and
that
prayer
was
too.
just
Please pray. Everything. Please, let's have this mindset of asking Almighty Allah for anything, anything, anything. Oh, Allah, I want this child to be sleeping early and waking. Just tell him how you want him. He's always there for us. But at times, you just feel like so necessary, sha, and it's necessary. Now,
nah. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you
on
very much.
right. Hey, you are. Hey, you are. Are you there? I don't think she's there.
Wọ́n ti lọ ra súùtì tán fẹ́ pín fún wa.
Vina. I want to know if I should be going.
Going. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Where are you?
I'm here.
Uh-huh.
Oh. I'm here now. Now, Jazakumullah khairan. Okay. I think there is a question. Okay, has it been answered now? How does one combine conjugal rights and sleeping early?
I don't get the question, ma. Me get question, yeah, ma.
Sister Zainab Saliu, she
Okay.
asked if she asked how does one combine conjugal rights and sleeping early?
Now, oh yes, like I said, there are some things that we won't be able to control. And I believe conjugal rights is not every time, the same time, the same, every day, the same time. Do we understand? It won't be every day the same time. So it will definitely be varying. So we cannot say that, for instance, here it is 12 a.m. every day. It is not possible. So those things we vary. Even if it is you sleeping one round and wake up, then sleep again. So I don't think that one should really, should really affect, inshallah.
Okay, that's that one.
Meanwhile, and at times said we can if our we some of us have partners that are money people. Some of us have partners that are money people. Something like wake me so time. Just turn them to alarm. They will wake you and things like that. So, like I said, at times during the day too, we do have time that we can use to take nap. Like Koilula. Koilula is a sunnah that's a lot of us, àwọn sunnah tó ti ń lọ kíní yẹn. So Koilula too is a good thing. Those are the things that make one, that give one energy. But our we people of today, we prefer to watch YouTube, browse Facebook, browse WhatsApp instead of taking Koilula. So all those things too. It is not easy to these days. Distraction too much. There lies our fears. Koilula. Koilula is the sunnah. Koilula is a sunnah. It's a recommended sunnah. Whereby one sleep between Zuhr and Asr. Shoyewa, can you hear me? The sunnah sleep between Zuhr and Asr. Koilula. That is what is called Koilula. Do we understand? Now, I mean one, two. I want to lolly. Hey, you are mad.
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Somebody is asking what is Kailula.
Put it down. I have answered her.
Okay.
I have answered her.
Okay. I think it's a good time to put a stop to today's session. But then I think I should ask maybe one question. Okay. Can anyone tell us? First question is just 2 questions or 3 questions. Then, can anyone tell us the reward of a fasting person, as said by Baby Muslima? What is the reward of a fasting person? That's the first question. Then the second question is that can somebody just summarize, just list the points she mentioned as ways we can curb procrastination? The 2 sisters that have answered question earlier are not permitted to answer again. So new sisters should raise their hands. So let's just have it. The first question, the reward of a fasting person. Second question, the points that we can say is sorry, please, just a minute. No. Then the last question, is she mentioned an act of ibadah that the time is very, very short, is limited, and procrastination can make us miss it. So what is that act of ibadah she mentioned? 3 questions. Sister Karima, you've answered question the other time. So let's just pick 2 more sisters. Sister Abdulaziz Hamida. And okay, please unmute your mic, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sisters.
Wa alaikum assalam wa
Jazakumullahu khairan for the
rahmatullahi.
session.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
was really a great one. May Almighty Allah continue to increase your knowledge. So I'm going to answer the questions about the ibadah. She talked about reciting the Quran very early in the morning, which she said the malaikas would listen to such reciters. I don't know if I'm correct because I joined late, so I was not able to join very early. Then I would answer the second question too about tips on how to curb procrastinations, which are sleeping early, and as well as there is this askar in Husnul Muslim, which is part of the morning askar. It also helps. And she also mentioned about making dua to Allah, asking Allah to help, and making adhkar about procrastination. Ya Allah, I want to stop procrastinating. So those are the things I was able to hold when she was explaining, because our network was also bad, so I was not able to really hold enough information. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Aziz Aisha, she mentioned one act of ibadah that is very, very fast. Before we close our eyes like this, it will go. So can you tell us what it is? Then list the points. She said we can the points in which we can say they are how do I even say it? The points she mentioned in the course of delivering the lectures. So can you please list them? Then the third question, what's the third question again? I can't remember. Okay, I think I mentioned it earlier. If you got the question, you can just please unmute your mic, sister Aziz action. The reward of a fasting Muslim. Now, so the three questions. Hello, are you there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sister Latifa Ibrahim, please unmute your mic. Sister Aisha has refused to unmute us.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
The answers to the questions are: the first one, the reward of a fasting person is with Allah. It's only Allah that can reward a fasting person. And the act of ibadah mentioned, dua, salah to dua, and ways of procrastination during fasting are problem identification, that we should identify what the problem is all about. Then we know what the solution will be. Then our today starts from yesterday, that we should sleep early so as to wake up early, and that will enable us to have a productive day.
Okay.
Should also set unachievable goals, like is it want to memorize or do muraja of 5 pages of Quran before Fajr, or want to just do tadabbur of an higher or two, or it depends on. We should just set an achievable goal, what we're able to achieve. Then we should plan our day ahead, prioritize worship than other things. We should do things that please Allah above all other things. Immediately an act of worship comes to our mind, we should make sure we do that thing, whether we're lying on our bed or doing things. We should not procrastinate that I will do it later. We should just run and do it. Maybe it comes to our mind that we should go and it's time for Salah to do it, or we should just read the Quran or do Muraja, that we should just attend to it immediately without procrastinating at all. And
Okay.
we should do
What
a lot
about
of
the last question? She said, because of time, we'll sadly that I cut it short. There's one deed, a good deed, that in which if you don't do it very fast, the time is very short. What is the name of that good?
I made mention of it already. Salah to do it.
Okay, barakallahu fikum. Yeah, Wawina. Let's go and pray. It's almost time for Maghrib. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we will are you on the group? Are you on the community?
Now I'm in the WhatsApp group.
Okay. Inshallah. We will announce all our winners, inshallah, and how you get your gifts. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for attending this session. I hope you have been able to pick one or two things. Barakallahu fikum. Thank you, Sister Aasiyah, baby Muslima. May Allah love you. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.
Ameen. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just saw.
Bye.
Welcome.
Bye bye.